So how do you replace the most iconic car made by British Leyland, the Mini, in 1980? You replace it with the car to beat the world, the Austin Mini Metro. You join me today back at the Car Cave in Bonnyrigg as we look at this Austin Mini Metro City X. So let's have a little history story about the Mini Metro. In about 1967, Alex Izagonis, that's easier for me to say, was looking to replace the Mini with the BMC 9X. A prototype was created, but was soon cancelled. In 1972, the project was revisited again with ADO 74. But again, that project was pulled, as it felt that the car was too large in comparison to the Mini. Next up was ADO 88, which as a basic concept looked good, but compared to its rivals, the VW Polo, the Ford Fiesta and the Fiat 127, it looked bland and van-like. So an emergency restyle by Harris Mann, Roger Tucker and Graham Sked, overlaid by David Bash, was ordered, and ADO 88 became LC8, Leyland Cars 8. On the 8th of October, the Austin Mini Metro was launched. Who remembers the White Cliff of Dover adverts full of metros? So let's have a look at this Austin Metro City X. So the first thing you're going to notice is that it's a 5-door hatchback and it's sitting on the later Metro GT alloy wheels, and these really do suit the car. The red paintwork is broken up with a gold pinstripe which flows down to the rear wing and the City X wording. Even the rear windows display period Austin Rover dealer stickers. So under the bonnet is the 1.3 A-Series Plus engine, producing 63 brake horsepower and 98 Newton meters of torque. And to tell it's a 1.3, the block should be red here, and if it was a 1 litre, the block would be yellow. And this engine was in cars for 20 years, finally bowing out in the Mini. So let's just have a look, see what we've got if we were just doing basic checks on the Mini. Yep. So you've got your coolant bottle here with your Unipart do not drain sticker. This, I presume, is your screen wash bottle here. This looks like your air box there, and this will be your brake fluid. It really is a simple little engine, the A-Series. It's a nice engine bay to work on. Looking at it, it's simple and effective. Just as we jump into the Mini, we just open the door. It's a really simple door card layout. You've got your window winder here, your catch to open the door, grab handle, and a lovely little door bin, and pop-up locks. So let's get inside the Metro and have a look. First thing you're going to notice is how great it looks inside. Our 2-spoke steering wheel, which house, and above that it looks as if you've got a big box above the On the dashboard, that's where your speedometer is, fuel gauge and temperature gauges. So let's have a look at these. So from left to right you have your fuel gauge, temperature gauge and speedometer. And in the middle you've got all your warning gauges. So there we go, we've got our warning lights on, so we've got the oil light, handbrake light, battery light, brake switch light, handbrake light as well. And if you look really closely, you've got the wee caravan light. So who remembers that? You could say that the instrument binnacle has been the most ousted cars of the 80s, from the Metro, Maestro and the Montego. The heating controls are just behind me to the steering wheel. Simple, that's your fan speed. Click once. It's a 2-speed fan. It's a nice wee rocker switch there. You've got your, this is for your hot and cold temperature. This is your settings here, so I'm not sure what the 0 is. Next setting down is your, if you wanted your windscreen, and I'm guessing that's for feet down at the bottom. So you've got, maybe this is for vents, for the vents, like so. Then slide it down to windscreen, and then slide it down again for feet. Simple and effective and quite easy to use. Again, indicators, nice chunky stock. On the left, with your lights, with a sort of rotary switch here. So that's your side lights. If you flick it to the left, that's your headlights. Flick that back, like so. Horns on here. I'll not do a horn test. And on the right hand side of the car we have the windscreen wipers. So that button to squeeze your water into the windscreen. Flick up. It's a 2-speed wiper setting. And on the back, so there we go here, and the back wiper is actually operated by a switch, so we'll go to these right now. One thing I'll say about these indicator stocks and wiper stocks is that, again, they're basically Austin parts bin specials. They were on every Austin type of car. These even featured on the Rover Metro as well. And these stocks were finally replaced when the Rover 100 came out. That became the R3 and started like using the Rover 200 controls that were quite Honda-like. So let's have a look at the chunky buttons here. So over here, if you can see that, it's the sun. You've got your fog light here. Nice chunky buttons. That's your rear windscreen wiper, and that's your screen wash. Quite simple. And these buttons quite remind me of the Land Rover Discovery. They're just their chunkiness to use. Oh, that's the back wiper. So the luxuries in this car you would get is a digital clock here, a blank in place for where a stereo would be, maybe in a higher up model. You've got an ashtray here. This would have been like your 12 volt cigarette lighter. And for the youngsters who may watch this channel, this is your choke. Going ahead, we've just got a nice shelved area, so you could put my camera mount on here. I don't think it would last long. And we have no glove box, but you do have storage area. And there is your original Austin Metro handbook of the time. That's lovely. And you've got your Austin and Rover Metro, the full story by Craig Cheetham. And Car Doctor, Symptoms, Causes and Cures. And again on the passenger side, just simple fare. Keep fit windows, door pull, door card and door bin. And it's also got a 4-speed gearbox. Got a nice wee float to it. And for reverse, you lift up and down like so. So just demonstrate that again. So there's first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and for reverse you lift up and down like so. So I've got a couple of things I like about the Metro. First of all is the key, especially on Austin cars, Rover cars, the sort of flicky blade key. I really quite like the look of them. So there you go, there's the key there. And another thing I liked about the Metro was the hydrogas suspension. The hydrogas was designed by Alex Moulton. So instead of having springs on the car, you have 4 pressurised spheres, pressurised by nitrogen gas. And these were used on cars like the Allegro and also the MGF. MGF was actually the last car to use hydrogas. And at the time, the Metro was praised for its handling. And if you're not sure what hydrogas is, I'll drop a picture into the video. So hopefully you should have seen this by now. So in 1990, the Austin Metro became the Rover Metro. Rover basically took a car, made it sort of fall in line with its current lineup, it gained comfier seats, Rover quality, and the introduction of a whole selection of new engines called the K series. So you had a 1.1 and a 1.4, and you also got a 1.4 diesel. I think was the first time a diesel was in a Metro. Don't quote me on that, but it was a 1.4 Peugeot diesel, if I mind right. In 1994, the Metro name was finally dropped, and it fell in line with current Rover models at the time, the 200, the 400, 600. The Metro became the 100. The final nail in the coffin for the Metro was the poor NCAP safety result, where it gained 1 star. So, back to our question at the start, was the Metro the car to beat the world? In my opinion, it was. The Metro sold really, really well. In under 20 years in the UK, and the Metro sold 1.5 million units. It was a popular car of its time, and especially when it first came out in the 80s, it was the best-selling car a lot of the time in the 80s. The car it was meant to replace, the Mini, soldiered on for another 3 years till 2000 before the BMW Mini came along. But it was the Metro was still a popular car. People were still buying them, especially the 100s. If you want a little bit of luxury, when people were buying like the Metro the 100 Kensingtons, the Ascots, they were really, really lovely wee cars towards the end. Yes, so that's just a wee brief story about the the Metro. I really am having a bad morning. my opinion is, if you look, minis are getting quite expensive now, and I reckon the Metro makes a nice daily classic, retro classic you could use. Instead of paying mini tax, why not buy a Metro? This car is currently for sale at the Car Cave in Bonnyrigg. So if you want to check out www.carcavescotland.co.uk, you will find details about this Metro. And I'd like to thank Alan at the Car Cave for letting me come down and review this Metro. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe at Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV. And I shall catch you in a future video. Farewell.